Hey, what's up, guys? So those of you who, like me, play a lot of Football Manager know that you always come up with this period of time in the game in which your players are still, at least mostly at your club, but you don't have any games for a little while. You're probably wondering to yourself, what do I do with this time? And is it useful for anything, or do I just sort of skip my way through it? I'm going to tell you something. You really need to be arranging friendlies. It doesn't really matter what level you're at. It doesn't matter if you're, the richest club in the world or if you're at the poorest club in the world. Either way around, you need to arrange friendlies. Friendlies do a lot of good for team cohesion. They do a lot of good for helping your players learn the tactic, and they can do a lot of good for your pocketbook if you're lucky. So let's go ahead and take a quick look over here, see what we're looking at. This is the schedule that we've had, only including friendlies. You notice I have this filtered to no competition, not including the Chinese Taipei Premier League. And as you can see here, we've played a lot of friendlies. Now, the computer manager will not arrange this for you. You can have it set on so that, they'll arrange, the backroom staff will arrange friendlies. They won't arrange them like this, right? My strategy has been to have 2 friendlies a week. This is what I do, whether we are a semi-pro team, an amateur team, or a professional team. And the reason why is because we want to play as much as we possibly can to give game time to as many players as we possibly can, and we want to make sure that our guys come into their games fit and ready to go. The most recent round of friendlies came right down here in November, because for some reason in November we had 3.5 weeks off. I don't want to have the guys just sit there for 3.5 weeks, and so we have them play together. There were 2 matches that we drew, one against Inter Taiwan, which is ridiculous. We should have creamed them. The other one against Hongyuan, another team that we really should have creamed. The rest of these were all easy wins for the most part. The Leopard Cat made it look interesting. It doesn't really matter, right? Personally, I don't take control of the team in friendlies. I always let the assistant manager do that. The reason why is because the friendly is not there for me to do anything. The friendly is there for the players and for their benefit. And sometimes also there for some sort of miniature financial benefit. However, you can see here that with these attendance numbers that we're looking at, there's not going to be any finances coming in. I mean, we're not going to make it rich off of these guys, right? So we'll go ahead over here to the dynamics and take a look at this. Now, I didn't show you what this looked like before, but I'll tell you that this is very, very good for team cohesion, making sure the players play together. The club atmosphere will improve as you do this. Managerial support might not do very much, but you will make it so that the players are more used to playing with each other and that they like each other. It's kind of like a cheat code for the game in a way. It will also help with your hierarchy in that you will have more players moving up the hierarchy, which is exactly what's happened in our case. There's another benefit you'll see here in the tactics screen. It's hard to explain this because you didn't see what was happening before, but before all this happened, Nene Gnaziri from Cote d'Ivoire had only played 3 matches for the team. Well, that's not 100% true. I guess he had a couple matches beforehand at other friendlies. Now he's played enough matches to have a strong partnership with both Ndaye and with Silla, and this has also helped our defense create a partnership. That's the sort of thing that playing a lot of friendlies can help you with. It can make sure that your players get more and more used to playing with each other, have better tactical familiarity, and so that they can play up to their full ability and their full potential, instead of not really knowing what's going on and not playing very well with each other, no matter what. Another thing that I will show you here is we'll take a look at the finances here first. Now, you're not going to see a huge difference in club finances. See, we've been going down, down, down. The reason why is because we're not exactly playing huge competition. We're not like going and playing Manchester City or something like that. Even still, we probably wouldn't get a huge crowd if we had the ability to do that here anyway, right? And so that's kind of one of those things that's a little bit iffy. A lot of these friendlies we were getting nothing for, but we're also paying nothing to play these teams, right? So, I mean, again, it's kind of coming out in the wash, no matter how you look at it. But the nice thing about some friendlies in some places is that you can make big money. In fact, for some teams that are lower league, if you do play against, say, like the English Premier League team or whatever, and you're in, I don't know, like the 5th or 6th tier of the English system, if you can arrange that, you can get really big paydays, and you can do a lot of things to make sure that you have those paydays coming frequently that can help your overall financial balance. Now, we're going to be just fine once the season is over, once we get money from that, and once, I don't know if we're waiting on like TV revenue. I guess TV revenue has been coming in the whole time. Once we start getting these other sources of revenue coming out, we'll be just fine. I'm not worried at all about the financial status. And if it goes bad, I go somewhere else. So, somebody else can worry about that. Now, another thing I'll show you here, in case you're unaware of this, is the way to arrange this, right? You got to click over here and arrange friendlies. You go first to schedule and then arrange friendly. Now, it's not going to let me arrange a whole lot of friendlies right now because this period of time is the off season, right? We have the final game of the season coming up. But if you do have the ability to arrange a friendly, like if there are actually players left at your club, you will have a thing over here that allows you to choose the type of friendly match. It will allow you to choose the team to play against and so on. You choose a date first, and then you would get all of these choices. I'll see if the under 18s allow me to do this or not. For under 18s, you go over to fixtures to make this sort of thing, and see, they're going away as well. And so we're not going to be able to show you exactly how to do this. But yes, you would have to do this manually by yourself, hanging out in the schedule screen. Now, there's kind of a bug here. To get out of this, you got to hit cancel. You haven't made any changes, but you can discard the changes that you didn't make, right? And let's see here. No, we want to include all competitions. Let me just do this. Or don't let me do it at all, whatever. There we go. Now we've included all of our competitions. Great. Another thing to look out for, in case you're new to this, trying to figure out how to set it up, is when you're trying to set up who's in charge of the friendlies and what happens, first you got to go over here to the staff screen and go to responsibilities, right? You go to match responsibilities, and this is where your stuff is located. Usually this leads friendly matches is going to choose you as default. I have changed this here to the assistant coach. We do not want the backroom staff to arrange friendly matches. We want to take that off so we can arrange it ourselves. I also want to arrange the under 18 friendly matches, right? Because I want to make sure that every team is playing 2 per week. And we also, of course, definitely do not want to leave the under 18 friendly matches. If you leave these on, or you'd put these on as yourself, which you can do, like by not having a coach or manager or anybody on the under 18 squad, your game is going to be very frustrating and very slow, and you're not going to be very happy with it. Under 18s are fun to talk about, but they're not really that fun to manage. So that's sort of the thing that you want to keep an eye on. You want to make sure that you've got this all set up the way that you want to do it. Just like so many things in terms of staff responsibilities, like, yeah, you could have the computer manager do it, and it will do a somewhat sort of maybe kind of reasonable job, but it won't do a good job doing it, right? It's always going to be like, yeah, this is kind of junky. Why are we doing it this way? What's the point of this? You really need to take control of it yourself and make sure that you have this. Like I said, I always go for 2 friendlies a week. I do make one exception, though, and let's see if we can actually see it here on the schedule. Yes, you see the most recent friendly was 1 week before this game. The reason why I do this is to give the players a chance to recover so that they're not completely tired. I always try to make sure there's a week between the final friendly and the next game. So you can see here April 11th to April 18th. Or in this example, we have June 27th to July 5th, right? Because that was on a Sunday. Again, here we have October 10th, and then October 17th was the match. I always try to do that. In terms of like the schedule and stuff, you'll notice I try to have friendlies on Wednesdays and Saturdays. That's because the training schedule that I use usually has us training on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? We're here in semi-pro land, not professional land. When you get into the professional world and you're training 7 days a week, you don't have to worry so much about it. You can have friendlies any day you want. I just prefer Wednesdays and Saturdays because it's easy for me to remember. And there you go. I would show you more about like actually choosing the matches. We're going to have to wait till later to do that because, as you can see, I can't go in and change this now. Normally, you would think that I would have this thing like planned out ahead of time, but I'm not quite that capable. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait until another day to get deep into this. But again, you really do need to take advantage of this and create your own friendlies. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. That's not the point. The point is to give the players actual game time, get them to flow together better as a squad, and hopefully get a little bit of a payday. I always do friendlies at home instead of on the road because I get a better payday that way, right? And I always try to choose the biggest team that we can, but make sure that you're making a profit off of it. The game will tell you, and you have to pay attention to it, right? You don't want to invite, like here, sometimes we have a chance to invite a team from Canada to come play, but it would cost us 50,000 euro. I'm not going to put this team into bankruptcy so that I can play against a team from Canada that we're probably going to lose to, right? That's ridiculous, and nobody's going to come, right? So you have to be a little bit circumspect, and you have to, kind of know what you're doing to a slight extent to make sure that you don't accidentally bankrupt your club. But if you do this well and you have a nothing team, you're going to get like tons of revenue coming in. If you do this well, you have Manchester United, you're still going to get a lot of revenue coming in and your players are going to be happier. There's no reason not to do this. There's nothing else to do. Again, I would say maybe you don't want to manage those games. That's a good idea, but you definitely want to schedule them and you want to have it be part of your schedule and your football manager routine. And there you go. I'll talk with you tomorrow. Bye.